I'm working on my project van today. I decided that since I'm going to be replacing the bumper at some point, I'm going to practice painting and see what the result is for future projects on the van. I'm not going to be able to replace all the parts, but today's project is make it look a little bit prettier. All I'm going to do is scuff it up with some 50 grit sandpaper, and then I will go down to 200, 220, and then 100 grit, or I'm sorry, 100 grit and then 220. I'll do a primer coat, and then I will do a finish coat of hammered look. Manufacturer says you can just clean up the rust area, clean it with soap and water, and spray the spray paint right over that surface. There's a lot of stuff on here, some old paint and some other crud that I'm working to get off, just to give it a little bit better look. So I masked off the surface, I prepped the surface and cleaned it with mineral spirits. I'm going to be using a self-etching primer as my first coat before I do the hammered paint on top of it, just to get a feel for what this product does and to determine what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the van build. I'm going to do just a thin coat just to avoid any runs and having to sand it. If it was body work, I would certainly do some sanding in between and some finish work, but this bumper is going to be replaced at some point, so I'm just using it to practice just practicing to see what's going to happen. So thin layers, thin coats, let it dry, and then we'll put the hammered paint on it and see what happens. The self-etching primer, I put 2 coats on to see what it would look like. I'm not going to sand it or anything. I'm just going to apply the hammered paint, textured paint over this bumper. Once again, I'm replacing this bumper eventually because it has a bend on the end. So for now, just practicing using materials, but so far this self-etching primer did a really good job of filling in some blemishes in the metal where there were cracks and dings. I sanded them out a little bit, but there were some pretty good gouges. It wasn't designed as a hole filler or a gap filler of any kind, but it did help out an awful lot to even out that surface. I'm running out of daylight. I used a self-etching primer, 2 coats, and I did not do any prep after that. I just let it dry to the manufacturer's recommendation, and they recommended to wait 15 to 30 minutes, or 30 minutes before recoating with a top coat. So I did that past the 30 minutes, and now I'm going to coat it with a hammered textured paint to see what happens. Here is the final product. I did 2 coats of the hammer textured spray paint over the 2 coats of self-etching primer, and I am really happy with the results. Came out really, really great.